Ludimir, listen to me. They will cut you down before you reach the gates.
And what do you suggest? Wait for it to be over? Yeah, everything will be tickety-boo.
At least bring a squad along.
Who, eh? Ratika's mob? Everyone's up their arse with the big fight. Besides, they'll just get in the way. Nah, I'll kill the Emperor on my own.
Your best fighter is dead! Catch!
Ludimir? You killed Ludimir?
Hey button pushers, Nick here, and today we are taking a look at Omensight, the definitive edition for the Xbox One. This was developed by Spearhead Games and Nephilim Game Studios, published by Digerati. It originally came out back in May 2018 for PC, PS4 and Switch, and came out at the start of June for Xbox One. Digerati kindly sent over the review code for the game, and as always the full review is on the website, and the link for that is in the description below. Subscribe for future gaming videos, but for now, let's get to it.
What the? The Emperor warned us about Redemption's sorcery. Kill the intruder, quick!
But sir, that glow, that sword, is it the Harbinger?
Omensight, it's a classic story of good versus evil, but with a twist. It takes place in the land of Eurelia, and that's the home to various different tribes, all of them represented by a different kind of animals. They're ruled over by the bird tribes, who were entrusted to watch over the land, and they formed the Pagarian Empire. This was all well and good until 7 years before the game takes place, when Pagaria started recruiting more tribes, effectively screwing over some of the other tribes in the process, and they then started an uprising led by a rebel named Ratika, who, in a plot twist that I'm sure nobody saw coming, is a rat. As we join the game, it's the eve of a giant invasion from the Pagarian Empire assaulting the Redemption capital. So that's what is meant to happen. What does happen is the world ends.
Harbinger, focus on my voice. Let me help.
Effectively, right at the last minute, a giant creature called Voden just breaks through the ground, and Voden is the destroyer of worlds, and he pretty much does his job nicely. And this is where you come in. You take on the role of the Harbinger, who is a mysterious figure who is brought forward to stop this exact thing happening, but obviously it's already happened, so to fix it you need to go backwards. So you are pulled back in time by a witch, and you are given the chance to relive that day.
So I can summon you here.
It's an oversimplification of the story, but it sets the scene. You get the idea. Your role as the Harbinger is to relive the day accompanying one of the key characters throughout the game. This will help you learn different things about the world and about their characters, the characters they've interacted with, and start to gather up information and work out exactly where the root cause of this mystery lies. At the start of the game, you have the choice to follow two different characters. These are characters that you met in the opening of the game. Well, you didn't meet them, you met their souls, because by the time you met them they were already dead, which isn't ideal. You get to follow them on their day to the point where you met them initially, and you can start to change things along the way, and you can convince them to take different paths. Effectively, you're in charge of what happens to a certain extent, and this is where the information is really helpful. So you could play a day as one character, still ends the same way, they die, Voden comes out, but you have learnt new information, so when you go and replay the day of another character, you can use that information to convince them of something or to do something, or even just share the information with them to change what happens, maybe.
The giant snake Voden, avatar of the great void, surges forth to devour the world.
As you progress through the game, you will meet the souls of certain other characters who then become available to you, so it just expands that story that much further and gives you even more information to work with. The real game-changing bits of information are called Omensight, and these are your weapons to truly convince people. If you need them to see something, you can broadcast this straight into their brain at certain points of the levels. Sometimes this can be a validation on what they thought anyway, sometimes they can be used to convince someone that they're maybe following a bit of a lie. They all play out differently, they have different perks and kind of reactions to them, and sometimes you're better off not using them at all, but this is one of the great things about the game. There's so many different branching avenues you can take. It doesn't matter, because you can try them all.
What did you just... Never mind. 1,000 bee stings. That whore, son. You'll answer for this and more, Indrik.
In a nutshell, the game comes down to repetition. Repetition is a key part of the game, and never has that been used in such a good way before, because although you're kind of playing the same levels over and over again, every time you do it you get something different or you uncover something different, and it doesn't feel like you're just repeating the same levels. It actually feels like each time you enter it's a brand new experience.
This was an ambush. They knew we were coming. But they did not count on your presence, Harbinger.
There is an exploration element to the game as well, which is, in quite a few circumstances, completely optional. There are collectibles in the world, so there are memories of the key characters scattered about, so you can start to build up their backstory, not for the main investigation, just kind of for your benefit, really. There's also chests scattered around the world. Some of them are just freely available to grab in the open, other ones require you to track them down. And there's a whole plethora of magical locks scattered around the world as well. These come in 3 different colours. You've got a yellow, a green and a purple, and as you progress through the story you will unlock what it takes to unlock them. Sometimes these will just contain chests or potentially a new memory. Other times they can open up brand new paths for you to take on the level, so it's worth trying to hunt them all out and just kind of hedge all of your bets on the different options.
Huh? Just... How did you do that? I don't smell the Emperor in there. Are we parting ways then?
There's 2 main things that you're going to collect throughout the game: experience and amber. Now, these 2 are really important for your progression through the game, as the experience, obviously you use it to level up, and the amber is used to purchase upgrades. Every time you finish a day you end up back with the witch in the area where you can talk to the souls and go back in time once again. There are 2 statues here. One is for experience and one is for upgrades, so every time you're here it's worth visiting them to kind of boost what you have already, or just learn a brand new skill. And the skills are where the levels start to feel really different as well. Initially at the start of the game, the combat is more of just a very basic hack and slash. You have a light attack, a strong attack, and you can dodge. But as you level up, you will learn new attacks, like the ability to slow down time or shoot a projectile at somebody. It gives you a real variety of things that help make combat more fluid, and it really helps for later on in the game when you've got bigger, stronger enemies coming at you. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is something you can actually very easily miss in the game depending on the difficulty settings you've gone with. You are given the option of setting the difficulty of the narrative, and you're given two options. Either True Detective, where the game will pretty much leave you to your own devices, or Guided. If you choose Guided, then an orb becomes available next to the witch in the main area. And think of this as a sort of private detective pinboard covered in red strings with mugshots of all the different suspects. You pretty much get the idea. This will give you a timeline of the events as you've figured them out so far, and it will also give you all of the information that you've learned about the characters up to that point. And it will also show you empty spaces where there are still things to learn. So if you've got it set to Guided, then you can always visit that, and it gives you an idea on probably what you need to do next to move the story forward. If you have gone for True Detective though, then you're not completely left on your own. When you go to replay a level, then there are two potential warning messages that can pop up. One of them might just say, you've got everything you're going to get from this level, are you sure you want to replay it? The other one will say, you've played this level before, but there is another path that you can take. Do you want to skip to that part? I'm obviously paraphrasing what it says, but it's along those lines. But if you do decide to skip it, then it will just zip through the level up to the point where you have to make a decision, and you just need to take the path that you didn't take before, and you'll end up with something brand new. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Omensight. As I mentioned at the beginning, this has been for the Xbox One, so all of the footage in the video has come from the Xbox One version of the game. It's available now on all formats, and the full review is up on the website, which is linked in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more videos coming very soon. And until next time, hear the music.